Hi, my name is Rachel and this is lesson 2 of my follow along Korean speaking series. As with the previous video, I'm going to be teaching you one new grammar point and we'll go through it with very slow practice, and then at the end of the video we'll have a much faster practice round, something that you can return to at any time in the future. As I said in the last video, feel free to take some notes and have them out in front of you so that you can refer to them at any time. Also, feel free to pause the video at any time. If this is your first time going through it, it might be a bit too fast, so pause and take all the time that you need to answer each question. All of the vocabulary that's in this video will be in the description box below. So cue the elevator music and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so 는 and 은, the topic particle. Now what exactly do we mean by topic? Well, if you think about topic in English, it just sort of means what is the sentence about? What or who is the sentence about? If we look at these sentences, I live in Korea, my friend loves chocolate, the chair is comfortable, she always eats pizza. Who or what is this sentence about? And you could also think of it in a way as who or what is the person doing the verb. So if we look at the verb in each sentence, I live in Korea, my friend loves chocolate, the chair is comfortable, she always eats pizza. Who or what is the thing doing this verb? So in the first sentence, I live in Korea, what do you think is the topic? I am the one living in Korea. In the next sentence, my friend loves chocolate. Who is the one loving chocolate? My friend. Friend is the topic. The chair is comfortable. What or who is the thing that is comfortable? The chair. And she always eats pizza. What or who always eats pizza? She does. She. She is the topic. Okay, so in the last lesson, we practiced this sentence here, I am a person. What was it? 사람이에요. 사람이에요. But 사람이에요 can mean he is a person, she is a person, that thing is a person, because 사람 being person and 이에요 being to be. So this could actually be anything, but what if I want to specify I am the one who is a person? Well, first we need to know what is the word for I in Korean. Now there's actually two. If you remember, I talked about casual Korean versus polite formal Korean. Now the casual way to say I is 나. 나. And the formal, polite way to say I is 저. 저. This 저 is pronounced a little bit more like a CH sound as opposed to a J sound. If you say 저, then people will think that you're saying 저. And I have personally made this mistake before, and my students are always very happy and eager and immediate to correct me in my pronunciation errors. So pronounce it a little bit more like a CH. So here we have 저. And in order to add 저 to a sentence, we need to add the topic particle, which would be 는 and 은. Now, which one are we going to use? How do we know the difference? Well, 는 is used for vowels, and 은 is used for consonants. So if a word ends in a vowel, you will use 는. If a word ends in a consonant, you will use 은. Now, 저, what does 저 end with? Which is a vowel, which means it's going to be 저는. 저는. 저는 meaning I, the formal way to say I. So let's go back to this sentence here. I am a person. So how do you say I? 저는. Okay, I am a person. 저는 사람이에요. 저는 사람이에요. Now you might wonder, okay, what's the point of this? I mean, can't I just say 저 사람이에요? And the answer is yes, you can. In fact, you might often hear 저 사람이에요. You also might sometimes even hear 저는 abbreviated to 전. 전 사람이에요. But today we're going to go ahead and practice 저는 사람이에요. 저는, just so that you can get a feel for what the most grammatically correct way to say it is. Now there are lots of different particles in Korean. So 저는 makes I the topic of the sentence. 저를 makes I the object of the sentence, aka me. 저에게, to me, 저와, with me, and so on. Now in English, the order of the sentence matters. So the order of the sentence will tell us what is the topic and what is the object of the sentence. So I killed the mosquito has a very different meaning from the mosquito killed me. However, in Korean, the particles will tell you what is the topic and what is the object. So what is doing what is marked by the particles, which means you can change the order of the words without the meaning changing. The only way to make the meaning change is to move the particles. Now that's all a bit complicated, and for future lessons, today we're only going to worry about 는 and 은. So let's get back to the sentence we were just doing. I am a person. Now you could easily argue that this sentence is not a very useful sentence, because if you have to explain to someone that you are a person, then you might be talking to an idiot. Or you also might be talking to an elementary student, because I have to tell you, I say this sentence pretty often at my at my school with my elementary students. But other than that, this is not a very useful sentence for you. So let's go ahead and try to make this a little bit more useful. So let's start with the country, 미국. 미국 is America, and this is way too many colors. So let's go ahead and, there we go. Oh, 미국. 미국 is the country America. I picked America simply because I am from America. So 미국 being America and 사람 being person, what do you think is 미국 사람? America person. What do you think that means? American. 미국 사람. America person, American. If you want to say, I am an American, what do you think that would be? 저는 미국 사람이에요. 저는 미국 사람이에요. Okay, how about 영국? 영국 사람. 영국 is the word for England or the UK. So 영국 사람 being an English person, or I probably should have written this as a British person. Korea doesn't exactly specify between the different countries in the UK. There are ways to say, like for example, if you're from Scotland, you could say 스코틀랜드 사람, but I don't know if Korea really specifies the difference between each, so 영국 사람 is a very easy bet for this one. So if you want to say, I am English or I'm a British person, what do you think? 저는 영국 사람이에요. 저는 영국 사람이에요. Now I'll go ahead and get into the other countries in a little bit, but right now I want to get back to 는 and 은 as the topic particle. So we've got a bunch of words here. I believe 커피 is the only new word here. The rest are from the last lesson that we did. And 물, what did 물 mean in English? 물 was water, right? Now I want you to think of each of these sentences as we go through them as a sentence kind of like, water is good for you, or water filled up the bathtub, like something along those lines, right? Because we're going to be adding the topic particle, so that means that each of these words is the topic of the sentence. So all I want you to think about is, are we adding 는 or 은? If we add 는, that means that the word ended in a vowel, and if we add 은, that means that the word before it ended in a consonant. So 물, let's go ahead and think about what would 물 be? Is it 물는 or 물은? 물은, 물은. How about 종이, paper, 종이? 종이는, 종이는. How about 남자, man, 남자? 남자는, 남자는. 여자, 여자는, 여자는. 술, 술 being the word for alcohol, 술. 술은, 술은. How about 집, house, 집. 집은, 집은. 사람, 사람은, 사람은. 녹차, green tea, 녹차. Also, I'm sorry, I should have given the word for tea. The word for tea is just 차. but I actually order green tea almost every day when I go to a cafe here. So for some reason in the first lesson I put 녹차 instead of 차. So just so you know, 차 is the word for tea, 녹차 is the word for green tea. Anyway, 녹차, is it 녹차는? 녹차은. 녹차는. How about 커피, coffee, 커피. 커피는, 커피는. 의자, chair, 의자. 의자는, 의자는. Okay, so for some 새로운 단어. Can you remember 미국 being America? And 미국 사람, American. 영국, England or the UK? 영국 사람, a British person, a UK person, a person from England, a person from the UK. 호주, 호주. Australia. 호주 사람, Australian person. 한국, 한국. Korea. 한국 사람, Korean person. I put person in here just so that you don't confuse it with Korean the language. So a Korean person, 한국 사람. Okay, 3 more. 그 사람. Now, 그 is the word for that. It's one of the words for that. So 그 사람 is that person. Now, this is actually used often in place of he or she. There are words for he and she in Korean, but far more commonly you'll hear that person. And if you want to specify that it is a male, you could say 그 남자 for that man, that boy, that guy, aka he, or 그 여자, that woman, that girl, aka she. Now the words, in case you want them, are 그 for he and 그녀 for she, but these words are honestly, I feel like I've never heard them actually spoken before when someone's talking about someone else. I almost always hear 그 사람, 그 남자, 그 여자, and there's tons of other words that they'll use in place of he and she. But just so you know, he is 그 and she is 그녀. And the only times that I do hear these words are honestly when I'm explaining grammar. So if I'm explaining grammar from a textbook, then we'll translate things using he, 그, and she, 그녀. But when it comes to actually speaking, I literally never hear them say this. So today we're going to practice 그 사람, 그 남자, and 그 여자. Now this 그 for he should not be confused with the 그 for that. They sound exactly the same, they're spelled exactly the same, but they're not the same word. Okay, so back to the 문법 grammar. Let's go ahead and start making some sentences with the topic particle and just full-on sentences here. So, I am American. Do you remember what that was? 저는 미국 사람이에요. 저는 미국 사람이에요. How about I am Australian? 저는 호주 사람이에요. 저는 호주 사람이에요. I am a student. Now, do you remember the word for student from the last lesson? 학생. So I am a student. 저는 학생이에요. 저는 학생이에요. How about that person is a student? That person, what was that person? 그 사람. And is it going to be 그 사람은 or 그 사람는? Well, it ends with a 미음, so 그 사람은, 그 사람은. Okay, that person is a student. 그 사람은 학생이에요. 그 사람은 학생이에요. That guy is Australian. What was that guy? Or that man? Or that boy? 그 남자. Alright, and it ends with a. So is it 는 or 은? 그 남자는 is Australian. 그 남자는 호주 사람이에요. 그 남자는 호주 사람이에요. Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own. That girl is British. That girl. 그 여자는 British person. 영국 사람 is 이에요. 그 여자는 영국 사람이에요. Okay, Rachel. Rachel is my name. I am Rachel. And Rachel in Korean is 레이첼. Now we're going to go ahead and add she. 레이첼 she. This she is a word that's kind of like Mr. or Miss or Mrs. It's just a polite way to refer to someone in formal, polite speech. So 레이첼 she would just be how you would say Rachel. It's kind of like Miss Rachel, but you could just think of it as a way that you would just say my name if you didn't really know me that well. So 레이첼 she. Now, if we want to say Rachel is American, 레이첼 she, we need to add the topic particle. What do you think? 레이첼 she는, 레이첼 she는 is American. 미국 사람이에요. 레이첼 씨는 미국 사람이에요. How about Rachel is a teacher? Now the word for teacher is 선생님. 선생님. So what do you think? Rachel is a teacher. 레이첼 씨는 선생님이에요. 레이첼 씨는 선생님이에요. And then how would you just say I am a teacher? 저는 선생님이에요. 저는 선생님이에요. I say this sentence quite a lot because people often ask if I'm a student or what I'm doing here in Korea, and I can just say, 저는 선생님이에요. I am a teacher. Okay, let's move on to the practice party. So, if a word ends in a vowel, you're going to add 는. If it ends in a consonant, you're going to add 은. Because this is the practice party, I'm going to go much faster. As I said in the last video, if this is your first time doing this will very likely be too fast. So feel free to pause all you need. I'm just going to give about 2 to 3 seconds after I give the word before I reveal the answer. So let's go ahead and get started. 사람. 사람은 술. 술은 친구. 친구는 고양이. 고양이는 저는 물은 의자는 커피는 학교는 선생님은 한국은 컴퓨터는 영국 사람은 녹차는 집. 집은 그 남자. 그 남자는 책. 책은 종이. 종이는 그 여자. 그 여자는 책상. 책상은 I am British. 저는 영국 사람이에요. I am a student. 저는 학생이에요. That guy is a teacher. 그 남자는 선생님이에요. That is a house. Now the word for that is 그것. 그것. 그것은 집이에요. 그것은 집이에요. Notice that the 시옷 carries over into making it sound 그것은. 그것은. So 그것은 집이에요. That is water. 그것은 물이에요. That is alcohol. 그것은 술이에요. And just in case you want the words that we went over just a minute ago, here they are. I think only a couple of them are new, if even that, but feel free to write them down if you like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.